Yes, no.
Hello, Irmtraut. Thank you for spending this half an hour with us.
And thank you, Carly, for inviting me. I am curious and excited to be with you.
We have gathered some questions that very often participants ask about nonviolent communication and empathy. And now I plan to tell them to you, and I'll be happy to hear your thoughts on them. For example, how the lack of energy and depression could be connected with anger.
If you imagine that anger is a lot of energy, and at times people learned in their childhood or youth that anger is not welcome to be expressed, to be lived. So they learn to suppress it. And this takes energy. Maybe you remember something like a steam cooker. Um, you need to put the lid on it, and the lid needs also a lot of pressure to contain the steam. And it's similar with anger. Maybe you are once angry, and then there is a little steam that's left, so you don't need so much energy to suppress it. The next time you are angry, so it builds up over time. And this takes energy from our life energy. And if it's happening often enough, um, you are left with not much energy for your life. You just need all the energy to suppress your anger.
Is it possible to have this anger and not be aware of that?
Yes, because when you are in depression, you are not anymore in a awareness that there was anger. And also, if you learn to suppress it because it's not appropriate in your family, you might not know. Maybe you just get heartbeat or something like this, and you don't realize that you are really angry.
Is there anything that can be done about this? If it goes back to childhood, and is there anything we can do so we get our
Yes,
energy back?
yes. One thing is to first realize this heartbeat or excitement or whatever there is could have to do with anger. And it's also important that I can acknowledge that this suppressing anger was meant to support me, to keep me safe in my family. Otherwise, I might have been punished when I would burst out for anger. So that's one thing. The other thing is um, to find out which needs are not met in this certain situation when I realize I am angry, I'm getting angry. Often it could be a need for safety, or it could be need for connection, for belonging, for acknowledgement. So to identify these needs usually brings some relief, some calmness, and from there we can work, continue to work. And another thing is to work on these beliefs. Anger is dangerous. What I learned in my childhood, I would be punished, so anger is dangerous. How to transform it into something that really gives me back my life energy.
Have I understood correctly that with NVC we try to understand our anger, where it comes from, what's the core of it, and this way what happens to us? We live in more calmness, more connection with ourselves. How it changes the connection with the other person?
Well, first, when I am not in depression or also in kind of freeze, don't know what to say, what to do. I can breathe. I can first connect with myself, realize what is the anger about. Oh, okay, recognition. And VC tells me it's not only one person who can meet my need for recognition. So I can give more space to the other person. That's one thing. And if I'm bursting out with anger, if I'm shouting at them, it's not so helpful to keep connection. So if I can realize, oh, that's anger. Wait a minute, what can I do to transform this anger? What is it about? Ah, recognition, maybe appreciation. Okay, so I can continue with much more calmness with the other person. So it serves connection with myself and with the other person. Does this make sense to you?
So if I understand correctly, first thing is that I get to know, to understand, to notice that I'm angry, and then to take a conscious choice if I want to continue with the everyday fight that we make, or if I want to go with NVC approach.
Yes.
Okay.
When I'm aware of it, I have this choice. Yes.
Okay. I think we said quite a lot of things about the anger. Can you tell me something about the training you are going to make in Bulgaria about anger in September?
We will work on situations participants bring with them from their daily life. Could be in the family, with a child, with a partner, could be at work, anything. And then I will support them to identify first the thoughts that create the anger. Like, this is unfair, people should not behave like this. And with this, we already have an idea about the needs that are behind it. Like if they say that's unfair, it might be about need for empathy, for acceptance or so. So next step is identifying the needs, and then we move on from there. There are feelings behind the anger that are usually very unpleasant to experience. Maybe people have the capacity to look at this, otherwise we just skip this. And then we check, what is my next step? Do I want to talk to the other person, or do I realize the anger is just for me? It has nothing to do with the other person. So we will work on this. And the other part is how to receive people who are angry, how to, instead of shouting back or whatsoever I experience with them, how can I maybe first connect with myself? Which need is not met when they are shouting at me? Maybe my need for safety, my need for connection. Okay, so let me try to receive the other person. What is their need when they are shouting? So there are these two aspects about anger, being angry myself or receiving anger from somebody else.
Have I understood correctly that this process takes time? What I mean is, if we go to a training, can we try to practice this? Then at home, it will take time until it happens, until it supports us. Maybe we start at the beginning with some silent empathy for us, for the other person, and slowly, slowly we build the ability to act
Talk.
non-violently or empathically in situations that bring anger.
Yes.
I mean, it will not happen that we go to a training and we go home and there is no more anger.
Certainly not, because I still, after more than 30 years of NVC, at times I realize I'm angry. And the difference now is I keep my mouth shut. I connect with myself. I check, what is it about that you are angry? Yeah, maybe it's really painful to experience the situation. Take a breath, calm down, not as a must, or I should just give myself time and space to connect with myself and to come from there, get my heart open again to receive the other person or myself. Hello, I'm Trout. Yes, you are really angry. it's painful for you. Let us take some time out, maybe go for a walk or so, and then you come back and connect with the other person. So I have a choice.
Is it something like you realized and you live your life with the idea that the connection between you and the other person is more important for you than being right and shout at them to prove you're right? You choose to keep the connection, and in order to keep the connection, you try to empathize with yourself and later on with the person and find a peaceful way to express what bothered you.
Yes, that's correct. It's really important to value connection. And at times it might be also that I would shout because I'm so excited. And the difference with NVC is I take responsibility for my feeling. I don't tell the other person, you make me angry. I might shout, it's too much. I cannot bear it anymore. I need to leave now. So I don't tell the other person, you are the one who is guilty of my feelings. That's a big difference.
Now comes to my mind that blaming is a big part of building walls between us.
Yes, yes.
So maybe if I understand well, NVC help us to see what's bothering in ourselves and restrict us from blaming the other person,
Yes,
which supports the connection.
yes. And it doesn't make any sense to blame somebody else because then we need much more energy to rebuild the relationship.
I see.
And
So,
blaming, and also not blaming myself. I can also be angry when I did something I really don't like afterwards. And blaming myself doesn't support a solution piece either. So getting out of blame is so life-changing.
thank you for this insight on the blame as well. Maybe I could ask you one last question. It's about the core beliefs. As far as I understood during this training, the NVC retreat, we are going to spend some time on core belief for participants who would like to identify if they have any.
Mhm.
Maybe you can tell
Yes.
us what is the core beliefs, how they affect our life.
Um, what we call core beliefs are beliefs most often come from our childhood. Things our parents, maybe teachers, family told us. Um, and there can be beliefs that are really giving us energy, like you are good in languages. Ah, yes, makes so easy to learn languages. And there are others that are limiting us, like you are bad in numbers. So I think, I don't want to learn math. What what does it help me learning it? Or so, and then maybe I will be really have bad marks in math. So, or people are telling me, you are a failure, you are not good enough. So this is very limiting. And often I don't really remember it. Maybe at times I'm talking to myself like this, and I might not even remember. And then there are other core beliefs that are more, or limiting beliefs that are more coming from society, from religion also, that are telling me a girl should not be angry, a boy should not cry. So often this is not from the family, but from a wider range of society. And all of these are limiting our spaces where we are living now. And back then it made sense to accept them, to integrate them into my life, because they met my need for safety, for belonging. I would not be punished. I would be part of the family who believes the same thing. So it was really helpful to believe in it. And nowadays, when I'm grown up, I can realize, there are these walls everywhere where I touch. There is one of these beliefs that are limiting me in my life. So try to get stones out of the wall and make a door. I can leave it and can have more space in my life. That's what we will work on in the 6-day training.
Can be a limiting belief, for example, men are bad, or love is difficult and painful, or marriage is prison. Can someone have such a limiting belief, and how this would affect their life? What could happen? Is it possible that we don't know we have it?
Yes, if your mother or grandmother, one of the grandmothers, experienced painful situations with their husband, like having been beaten or whatsoever, then they might have this image, men are bad, marriage is a prison. And they, in some ways, they convey this message to the children, to the grandchildren. And then at times, if you sympathize, if you like your mother, your grandmother, you will believe it. Maybe you also experience that the father has beaten the mother. So you believe it. And certainly this will have an effect on your relationship with men. If you start to date, you will be very careful and don't trust. If you marry, maybe you will never marry because you fear to be imprisoned. Or if you marry, you will still carry this with you and it will have an effect on your marriage. You will not trust your husband as much as you could without this.
So, from what I remember during the trainings for limiting beliefs, we make exercises, give ourselves space where we can dig inside and find these limiting beliefs. And then we choose if we want to work on them or if we want to leave them there. Is it like
Yes,
this?
yes. There will be a process which takes about 2 hours or so, at least, where we first identify one of these beliefs we want to work on. Then we check which needs are met with it, which needs are not met with it. Do I want to change it? How can we bring all the needs together to something new that is giving us much more space? And there will be some theory about it. So I think everyone will walk away with something they're more happy with.
You know, I was in a training before, many years ago, before I knew NVC, and I was told if I find limiting belief, just to write on a paper the exact opposite and to repeat it 1 million times a day or even 3 times a day. And I did not do it. I did not like it. And later on, I heard that many people do this, practice this. And can you tell me something about this approach? What do you think about it?
I don't trust that it really changes lives because it makes sense from my past that I have this belief. At that time, it was not limiting. It met a lot of needs. It met my need for safety. It met my need for maybe for acknowledgement, for belonging. So this part, this small child part, is still living inside me. And this will sabotage if I'm just try to put another layer on the limiting belief, change it. Because this child, inner child, will not feel safe with it, just the opposite. And for me, going through this process where I acknowledge, yes, it made sense at some time in my life to have this belief, then this belief, kind of personalized, is more willing to step down or to give space. So in my experience, it's really important to first look at this belief, what it was meant for, which needs it supported, and from there to find a new way to still feel safe and maybe to meet my need for learning, for growth, for change. Only then, in my experience, people will experience a change in their life.
Thank you. It makes a lot of sense to me. Thank you for sharing this. It's worth spending some time thinking about it.
Yes.
Okay, I have another question for you, which is about the needs. They say the needs are the heart of NVC. Why is it so important to know about these needs?
For me, the needs are also the heart or the core of NVC, because my experience is with accompanying many people and also for myself, that when we get to the needs, when we identify them that are at stake in this very moment, then people take a deep breath, they relax, they start to smile, to stand more upright, or things like this. This brings me in connection with my life energy. For me, the needs are aspects of life energy, like I guess you know a prism. When on one side light comes in, then on the other side you have the different colors of the rainbow. And for me, this is with life energy. And then on the other side, you have all the different needs. The root is, the connection is to life energy, what keeps us alive, what helps us to thrive, to live a fulfilled life. And at times, one need like rest, sleep is not met, so I will give way to it and go to bed or to go for a walk, to have some rest or so. Another time, my need for a meaning is not met, so I might consider what gives me meaning in my life and explore this. Another time, it might be connection. So, how can I experience connection? And all this is related to life energy, how I live, how I want to live. And so that for me, why it is at the core of NVC, and why we relax, because then we are connected to the deep energy inside ourselves. And for me, that is unique about NVC.
Is it like when you connect to your needs, when you're connected to your needs, you're like balanced and maybe strong, and you could communicate with yourself and with the people from this place of
Yes.
balance and being grounded, something like this?
And an open heart.
Open heart.
Yes. I can receive you, I can welcome you.
I
And
wonder,
it's
yes.
it's connection from heart to heart. I want to connect to your heart, not to your thoughts, to your judgments. I want to experience you as a human being like I am.
Can you tell me something about how many people are needed for empathic communication? For example, in my family, if it's for me difficult to communicate with my children, with my husband, or if it's difficult for me to communicate with my boyfriend or in the work with my boss, do we both need to know NVC in order to connect to needs and make and find the solutions that work for everybody?
No, the first thing is I know it and I can take responsibility for my feelings, for my actions, and from there things can change. I remember situations when somebody realized, oh, this other person, they also have needs they try to meet, like I. And then they were considering, do I need to talk about this with this other person? And they did not, and still the relationship changed. Because there's a difference if I come to you and think you are stupid and what you are doing is crazy and you should behave in a different way. Just check how you receive this. Or if I come to you thinking, whatever this person does, she tries to meet needs. This time it has been harmful for me, very sad. And still, she desperately tries to meet needs. So maybe I can support her to meet these needs in a different way. Let us check what's possible. And try to check again, how do you feel now hearing this? So I don't even need to talk, it's how I approach you. That creates a setting in which we meet, the energy in which we meet. And about 80% of our connection, of our interaction is without words. Your body gets from my body how I approach you. Often that's not conscious. I don't know and I don't have words for it. I just sense today she is different. Somehow it's different. So curious what's going to happen.
Okay. It sounds very promising for a relationship between two people who have difficulty to connect.
Yes.
Okay, now I will ask you about the three trainings. I know it's going to be three topics. The first topic is about the anger, how to receive anger from myself, for the other person. The second training is nonviolent communication retreat, where people will most probably do the exercise about the core beliefs and get the chance to work on their limiting beliefs. And the third one is mentoring with you, where you will support people who have nonviolent communication experience. They will have chance to, maybe you can tell us more about the three of them.
Yes. Well, the first one is how can I transform my anger in a way that I still express myself, that I express what it is about, and try to keep the connection, the flow in the connection, because it's really important for me that we can stay connected, especially if it's in the family or in the workplace with colleagues. And also how to receive a person who is angry. Could be my child with a tantrum, or it could be a colleague who is angry. So that is the first part. The second is, apart from the topics we will have, is about being together for 6 days, which will contribute to a special atmosphere in which we can work. There might be also conflicts, and we are not afraid of conflicts if we are using them in a good way. Then they usually contribute to much more connection with ourselves and with other people. So that's what I'm looking for, that we are really living it together, integrating it, starting to integrate in our daily lives, because it's not just a tool, it is more, it's really about how do I connect, how do I live with other people? And that's something we can try starting there. And the last one is meant for people who are curious how they can forward what they learned, how they can share it with other people, like maybe with colleagues in the company, with colleagues in school, with parents. So we can do role plays. That's something that I like to do. And that's meant for people who already have NVC experience. It's also possible, I think, if they would decide to come after the 6 days or so. We will also use dance floor cards where we can walk the process. So it's more tangible than just thinking about it or talking. I find this also very helpful. And people who are offering something will also have a chance to get feedback how they could improve it, how people experience the exercise. So it's something for learning how to share
How to share
mainly.
NVC.
Yes.
And if someone would like to come and they're not planning to share NVC and still would like to practice dance floor and role plays, they're welcome.
Yes, certainly. The
How?
only thing is that they really have at least experience with self-empathy and started to work with empathy.
Okay, so kind of people who know the 4 steps and can apply them on their situations.
Yes.
Okay, I understand. Can you tell me what will be the growth of this third training for people who are not going to share NVC? What will be the benefit? What it will be for them if they choose to come?
Um, More depth in how they experience, how they live NVC, more security, self-confidence. Yes, I can do this. I'm ready to receive people more easily with empathy. If somebody is angry, if somebody is frustrated, maybe I also can support someone in my family, colleagues who are in pain. So I have more self-confidence. I can also live it, apply it in daily life, not just thinking, oh, how can I do it? And is it like this? And so we will go into more life, life session, life experience in role plays.
Irmtraut, thank you very much for spending this time together. It really gave me a lot of clarity about some topics that I was wondering the recent days, and hope to see you again.
Yes,
Bye.
latest in September when we meet for the
Later in
training.
September. Bye.
Yes. Bye.